Well, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us here for Live Impact News on 13 News Now Plus. My name is Eugene Daniel, and we're going to go from 1 to 3 here this afternoon, just looking at things as they're happening in real time, not just here regionally, but across the nation and today across the world, as so many countries are preparing to enter into a new year. And if you were joining us earlier today between 10 and 12, you would have seen that we were in Hong Kong, we were in Beijing, we went to Taipei, Taiwan. As celebrations are taking place everywhere today, everyone is trying to ring in 2026. And to give you a shot here at the moment, this is, I believe, New Delhi in India as they are preparing for their own celebrations there. Just taking a live look at the moment there. Again, New Delhi, India, and some of the celebrations we've seen so far have been really extravagant. Looking in China at Beijing at the Great Wall, there was an amazing drum ceremony and a performance there. And in Hong Kong as well, there was like a massive concert and experience there, and also in Taiwan. So it's been really cool to see throughout the day. And as they pop up here on our big board, I will also go to those too, as you can get a look at what I'm looking at here as well with the various shots that are happening across the world and in the United States. Right now, I'm also monitoring a press conference that is expected to start any moment here out of Boston with the head coach of the New England Patriots, Mike Vrabel, expected to make some comments. Now, it's not clear if these comments will be about what I'm about to talk about, but I think that's why we have that queued up with its New England Patriots superstar wide receiver, Stephon Diggs, now facing some very serious felony charges, according to court documents that were put in on Tuesday involving a situation with his in-home chef, accused of strangulation and battery charges from an incident earlier this month. And so we'll get into that if that press conference or when it gets underway. We'll see what comes out of that. But again, we are really staying focused here as well on New Year's celebrations that are taking place throughout our region. We'll also have a guest that'll come in talking about those New Year's resolutions. I'm looking forward to that, particularly when it comes to your health and your training. And if you're in the area and you are trying to get out on the town tonight, great opportunity for you. In Virginia Beach, we have the last night on the town taking place starting at 6 o'clock. And it's going to have the band Perry as the musicians there and some special guests, including our very own Marta Berglund, who is going to be the MC tonight for that event, as people right here in Hampton Roads will be ringing in the new year. So don't say you don't have anything to do. There are plenty of things to do, including if you're in Norfolk, you can go to Waterside. In Waterside, there is going to be a major party tonight that is going to be taking place. And as the ball drops, there's going to be confetti, music, live music, anything you can think of that's going to be happening at the Waterside District. And just last week before the Christmas holiday, we were able to catch up with the events coordinator of the Waterside District to tell us a little bit about what they have going on tonight for New Year's Eve. And I'll go ahead and cue that up for you so you can listen in to what you can expect. But as soon as any of these live events take place, we're going to go right to them. Again, I'm eyeing what's taking place in New England. But in terms of today, let's go ahead and listen to what you can expect tonight if you're interested in Norfolk at Waterside District.
Okay, put your seatbelts on. New Year's Eve is the event that we start planning in the spring. I feel like we just last week started picking the last pieces of confetti out of the ceiling from last year's New Year's Eve. It is an all-inclusive event where by the end of the night, my goal is for your friends to see these photos and ask, how many places did you go on New Year's Eve? Because we have everything. We have multiple DJs in different bars throughout the entire marketplace. Everything's indoors, which is really nice. So if it rains, if it snows, you have the option of going outside on a nice balcony that overlooks the gorgeous Elizabeth River, if that's what you want to do. You want to kiss somebody looking over the moon river at midnight with champagne in your hand, check, we can do that. But if you'd rather be on a dance floor with 500 to 800 people listening to one of the best DJs you'll ever hear, got that too. We also have silent disco. I don't know if you've done that before. Everybody gets headphones.
I've heard about it.
Yeah.
3 channels. If you don't like what's playing on channel 1, switch. Go to the red channel, go to the green channel, go to the blue channel. And whatever soundtrack you want for your New Year's Eve is the one you're listening to. It's also fun to walk around and see what channel everyone's on. If you are on the blue channel and you notice everyone's on green, that DJ must be playing something good.
Yeah.
So you switch over to green and go, oh yeah. So we have that for you. We've got karaoke in a sidebar as well. If your ideal night on New Year's Eve is get together with some friends and let's all sing our butts off in a karaoke bar with all of the drinks flowing and our best friends around us, we've got that for you as well. It is a venue where the dance floor will be huge and full because you're looking at the entire wide open marketplace. Imagine almost like a smaller section of an airport terminal becoming a dance floor. However, if you would rather be above all of that craziness with a cocktail in your hand, looking down on it, going, wow, look at this. This is great. You have that option as well. Our entire VIP area up in the Harbor Club will open up, and you'll be able to sit there and look down at everything going on and go, man, isn't this the best party? And that's another thing I like about Waterside is, I don't think if you come to Waterside for New Year's Eve, I don't think you will leave going, I wonder if we were at the biggest party this year. Because without a doubt, you were.
You know, I'm just sitting there envisioning. I have never gone to one of those parties where the silent discos, but I've heard of them.
They're
I've seen
blast.
videos.
Yeah.
And I just want to walk into the room where everyone's making, not just dancing to their own beat, but somebody's singing.
Oh, yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
And just to take off your headphones for a moment and just to hear people in their own world and all of these different songs and people.
Oh, yeah.
And I imagine, they probably won't maybe sound the best on everybody.
Right.
That to me is...
What's
would
even
be
more
great.
fun is when a line dance song comes on and you all of a sudden see
Yes.
all these people and they start scrambling.
Yes.
And they get like if they play Flex by Cupid or
Yeah.
Jerusalema or maybe a Cha-Cha Slide or something like that. And then you see everyone get in and you're like, okay. And it's funny, if you're not listening, you're like watching going, okay, I know what song they're doing.
Yeah,
So that's even more fun. But you're right, there's a lot of singing too.
That is awesome.
that's exciting. I'm sold. I think that's where I'll be. New Year's
Okay,
Eve.
we have to do this.
'Cause
We
I
have
will
to
be
do this
back.
collectively.
Yes, I like that.
Okay.
Well, you won't regret it. It is an absolute blast. Some of the other things that make it a lot easier too is sometimes if you go out on New Year's Eve, you can't find anywhere to park. We have a garage right across the street with a covered walkway that you just walk right in. We'll have a red carpet with a photo op right when you get there. So if you dress it up and you want to do the red carpet photo, got you covered like a stop and repeat and the red carpet looking really good. Coat checks, we got those taken care of for you as well. Obviously, we have tons of food. And it is some of the food you heard me describe earlier. It's amazing what the kitchen comes up with on New Year's Eve. They do specialty food, specialty dishes. The cocktails, obviously, we got you covered. And even if you're not a drinker and you just want to hang out and drink non-alcoholic cocktails, we can make those for you as well. And we're weatherproofed. So if it rains or snows or whatever, you're still covered. Lots of hotel options right around the district in case you want to stay the night somewhere instead of, or you can get an Uber, whatever you want to do, as long as you get home safe, that's the important thing. But we go all night. And, I know what I forgot to tell you about.
Okay, I'm
Is
excited
everybody
about
paying
this.
attention?
Yes.
$2,000 in cash and prizes will be given away that night. And here's how we do it. We put all the prizes in balloons above everybody. And at midnight, all the balloons come down to the floor. Everybody grabs a balloon and pops it, and there's either going to be a gift in there or money or both. We do it in the entire ceiling of the marketplace. There must be, I want to say, at least 1,000 balloons up there. So, yeah. So that's one of the highlights as well. If you are coming and you do want to stay above the crowd and watch all the craziness from above, I would recommend getting to the dance floor at midnight, because you got a good chance of winning some cash.
Oh, wow. A good opportunity for you there. I would play the rest of that, but you got the gist of it coming out of Waterside District there if you're going out tonight. What I do want to go to right now, as I told you I would, is we are seeing head coach from New England Patriots, Mike Vrabel, who is coming up to the stage. This is as their superstar wide receiver is facing some serious felony charges, accused of strangulation and misdemeanor assault and battery involving an in-house chef back in early portions of December. So I'll go ahead and play to see if he's going to give us any kind of insight into that situation. If not, we'll come right out, and we got a special guest, and we're going to talk to you here just momentarily.
5-2 in their last 7 games. They've turned the ball over, created 13 turnovers in those 5 wins. A running back that's first in the league in yards per carry and yards after contact and explosive runs, and some young defensive linemen that are really improving and playing well. That was our focus this morning, and trying to prepare for our opponent and put the game plan in, and we'll practice. But that's just what we do every single Wednesday and Thursday and Friday.
Do you feel as though the team has a comprehensive understanding of both incidents, or are you still in the process of gathering more?
Well, we always want to gather more information, but these are, we've been aware of these allegations. This wasn't yesterday and today isn't the first that we've, heard about them, and try to do everything in accordance with the league policy, and making sure that the league, that we're in compliance with the league.
Mike, I thought the team statement said that you guys were aware, August, about the Barmore allegations. Is that not true?
Again, I'm not really sure of the timeline. There's been, when we've been able to, find out what the information was, these are things that, like I said, these aren't a surprise that today and yesterday this came out.
When were you made aware of the digs?
When they, were able to, make us aware from the court filings and some things like that. So those are all things, again, handled with the respect to the court and the process and the ongoing. So, we just have to be, and again, I want to be respectful of what you guys have to do. But we also have to be respectful of what our players are trying to do and what we're trying to do as a coaching staff. We started this thing in Miami. Didn't do a very good job against Oakland or Vegas, and we were able to start it against Miami. And we're hoping to do everything that we can to finish the regular season really strong against Miami.
Are you afraid that these will become distracting?
Afraid? No, not afraid. I'm 50 years old and going to be 51. I'm not afraid. I love coaching this football team, and I love the way that they come to work. I love the youth. I love the veterans. I love the leadership, and I really have appreciated everyone's growth throughout this entire process. I think that's the thing that I really enjoy is just guys like Travion and Kyle being excited and Will being excited about coming back, and then our quarterback and the way Drake has grown, but our veteran leadership from Steph and Morgan and Garrett on offense, and the consistency that Big Mike's had, and Hunter, we talked about his consistency. That's what I want the best for these guys on the field and off the field.
Mike, in the team statement that was released yesterday about the relation situation, it says we support Stephon. What does that mean?
That everybody that we care about and that we have been close to for a while, that we support, and we do. And we understand that there's allegations, but we also want to support each and every player and each and every coach and each and every staff member.
Mike, you relied a lot on rookies this year, young players. Do you talk to your captains to be able to talk to the team in order to try to keep this on the back burner? Do you address the team personally?
No, yes, I talk to the team. I talk to the team about, making sure that we speak for ourselves. And if Steph and Christian have something to say, I support that. But we're also going to, I think speak for ourselves and make sure that they are focused on what they have to do and the improvements that they have to make. The focus this week is improve through practice and try to finish what we started.
Mike, in the police report attached to the charge against Christian, his accuser describes being thrown to the ground in front of their child and then calling it car service that the team provides, taking her to Delaware. Then she provides photos of bruises after being thrown to the ground to police. Those photos were added to the report. In the statement, you said you guys were aware at the time of the incident in August. Since then, what has made you comfortable to continue putting Christian out at practice and in games?
Well, again, just allegations, and we want to make sure that the court, that those ongoing court proceedings, and once those are satisfied, then, we'll come to whatever conclusion and whatever decision that we have to make. And we'll also stay committed to our preparation here with Miami and making sure that everybody's ready to go, whoever plays on Sunday.
Has the NFL told you if
The NFL hasn't told me anything, so I don't want to waste your time on that. I haven't had a call with the NFL.
Coach, historically the team has dealt with outside noise in the past. What's sort of your message to the team around times like this one?
Improve through practice and finish what we started, and speak for yourself. And again, so that's what we've talked about. That was my message, and we'll continue to do that. Can't worry about playoff scenarios and a lot of what ifs. We're going to focus on, trying to make sure that we're as prepared for a team that we haven't played. They're a lot different, and I think that we're a lot different than what the two teams that played in September are.
Do you anticipate the starters playing this week?
Of course, anybody that's healthy. We're gonna do everything we can to win the football game. But if they're, come on.
Mike, is the clock going to start for Will Campbell today?
Yes, Will, Alex Austin will be out there. See how he looks and see where Milt is from last week.
Mike, how much do you take into account individual achievements in this final game, whether it's hitting certain incentives for individual players or an award maybe being next stage like MVP?
If it's anything that can help the team win, I'm all in favor of. We've talked about this maybe, 3 or 4 weeks ago about, chasing wins and not plays. And so that I want those to all align. And I can always appreciate, production. I get it, whether that's tackles, playtime, sacks, catches, touchdowns. But really what I'm focused on is wins, and I have to try to balance that, between individual players and then units and then a team.
Mike, in the statement released about Stephon Diggs, it was mentioned that he has categorically denied those allegations to the team. No such mention was in the statement regarding Christian. Has he denied the incident as described in the police report?
Yeah, I'm not going to focus on any of the conversations that we've had with the players or I've had with the players, and so I'm going to let the ongoing court process take its course, and I'm going to focus on the Dolphins and focus on coaching this football team and the guys that are healthy enough to be out there.
Like
Okay, final question, guys.
In
Final question.
Delaware, does the team routinely offer car service to players, loved ones, family members, wives, or girlfriends?
Yeah, I don't know that is the case. I'm not, I just since 2001 probably had the same company when I go to the airport take me, whether I was a player or a coach here. So I don't know. I can't comment on that. Apologize.
Mike, last question, guys. About 25 to 30 guys came back from a year ago on the roster, and maybe 5 or 6 of them were signed to contracts. I more want to talk with Jalen Hawkins.
Mm-hmm.
The decision to bring him back, it was in March, so you didn't sound like I don't know how well you got to know him over the first few months, but can you talk about the decision to bring him back?
Yep. I would say that through Jeremy Springer and Tom Quinn's efforts to explain to me their group of core guys, he kept coming up. He had to play defense, but he was on every single special team, was the wing. I think they described him as a selfless player who would do anything that he could to help the football team and was playing a lot of defense. Seemed like a veteran guy that we would want to have around. And then in the conversations that we had with me and Elliot and Ryan and Stretch, it was, excited to be able to bring him back. He's earned everything that he has now with the production, the play time. Keeps working. It means a lot to him. He's a fun guy to coach, and I'm happy that he's having success. So appreciate the time here, guys, and we'll see you here in a couple days.
You were able to hear for yourself there. That's the head coach of the New England Patriots there in Boston, answering questions not only about their upcoming game, the last of the season as they are moving into the playoffs, but answering questions about their star wide receiver, Stephon Diggs, who has now been charged with some serious felony accusations here, charged with felony strangulation or suffocation and misdemeanor assault and battery charges stemming from an incident on December 2nd. The documents that have been placed in court say that this is between Diggs and a private chef at his residence there in the New England area, where Diggs is who have allegedly smacked or hit that private chef over a paycheck dispute. Those court documents say that the chef reportedly told Diggs that she had been owed at least a month's pay after being sent home for a week in November, saying that that happened because he had guests who were coming over. The court documents go on to say that she says that Diggs became angry by those comments, and that led to him choking her, placing his elbow around her neck. And she said that she had trouble breathing in that as well. That happened again at the December 2nd, allegedly, and now has been filed in court. He now faces those charges. She had been hired back in July to be a private chef for him. So you can hear it there from Mike Vrabel saying that the matter is something that they have talked to their team about to be able to speak up for themselves. But also that the NFL is taking on the matter as well as they try to get their mind straight for a playoff push here with the final game of the regular season starting just, I believe, next week for them, or this weekend coming up. So with that, though, we're going to take a pivot because I told you all about – hold on one. Needed to adjust that audio. I told you that we were talking about – New Year's Eve, and in particular, also resolutions as we get into the spirit of starting 2026 off on the right foot. We've been showing you celebrations happening all across the world, from China to Thailand and Taiwan. And of course, tonight, midnight, we'll have our own celebrations in the 757 and here in America. But we know one of the big things that people try to do when it comes to a new year, they want to be, what's the saying? A new year, new me. And that includes fitness goals. But how do you keep them? How do you keep them? How do you even make the right goals as you go into the new year? So joining us now, I have fitness trainer, owner of Hope Fit VA in Chesapeake, Virginia. We have Quentin Boykins, who is with us in studio this afternoon. I have to remember it's afternoon. And I call him Q. I know him well as well. I train with him. I was about to say we train together. I train with you.
Yeah,
you lead the trainings. You definitely lead the trainings. And I thought it'd be great to bring you in because so many people do, Q. Like, they come to people like you, and they know in the new year they're motivated to try to be a better version of themselves. But, man, it is hard. Yeah. It is hard to keep it up. So my first question to you is how do you set a good goal or resolution for yourself that is, reasonable? Yeah. Well, what would you tell to someone to set their goals that they want to get more fit in the new year?
Man, that is a really good question because so many people do have the whole new year, new me mentality. And a lot of times they get discouraged because they start it and then they don't follow through with it. So the best thing to do, a piece of advice that I give to anybody, is to start small. Don't try to jump into it and wake up at 5 a.m. every single day and say, I'm going to completely 100% cut out sugar, and I'm going to go to the gym 7 days a week, and I'm going to eat carrots and lettuce every day. Don't do it. Like, take small steps, one at a time. If you're going to cut out sugar, say, all right, instead of me eating the whole box of cookies tonight, I'm only going to eat half of the box of cookies tonight. Set yourself up to master one thing and then move to the next. That's going to be the best way to not only create the routine, but to stick with it long term. A lot of times what I see, even in my own personal life, a lot of times what I see is that when people try to do too much, they get overwhelmed. And then when they're overwhelmed, they're just like, oh, I'm not going to do it at all. So set yourself up for success by just mastering one thing at a time and then moving on to the next.
So with that in spirit, I think that's, such great advice. Where would you start, right? Like, what is something I should master first? Should I master the exercise routine, or should I master the eating routine? I have my own personal answer for that, and you would probably know what's the hardest for me. But what would you recommend to someone who is coming into this, and maybe it's been a while since they've really focused on their fitness? Where would you start?
I would start with the eating portion. That's going to be
was going to be my answer.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And it should be. The eating part is the hard part. Like, a lot of people think that the gym part is the hard part, but the eating and the discipline of the eating is the hard part. You can work out all day long every day, but then completely zero that workout out by eating poorly. So mastering the diet portion is going to be good. And dieting is a lot of people think diet means, well, I'm going to stop eating this to then eat this thing, or I'm going to stop eating, let's say, cheeseburgers, for example, and I'm going to start eating salads. And they call that diet. But dieting is really a way of living with what you're eating. So just switching your diet around is going to be the most important part, and the part that's going to make the biggest difference with your whole exercise, fitness, wellness, all of that stuff. What goes inside of your body is so important and so vital. So just making sure that the first step is saying, all right, I need to drink more water, or I need to cut out so many sodas, or stop eating at Chick-fil-A every day.
You talking too loud right
listen,
now,
man. Listen.
What if it's
I give
the salad?
people, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna go to Chick-fil-A. Okay. All right. So.
And I know there have been a few times I've showed up for our training and I have whatever I ate coming into it.
Yeah.
I was like, my bad, man, my bad. What are some of the things that you see from people, and, we start 2026, and where do they tend to taper off? I guess let me kind of rephrase this. When do you start to see it taper off? And then what is typically the first to go?
I would say probably around March normally. January, everybody comes in and they're motivated and they're ready to rock and roll. And then they get into it and they see, okay, like the weight is not falling off as quickly as I thought it would. And that's where it's like the realistic expectation has to come into play. And trainers, what trainers should be doing is, when you sit down and you have your consultation with your clients and potential clients, or your focus sessions, you should be making sure that they understand this isn't going to be an overnight process. You didn't put the weight on overnight, so it's not going to come off overnight. And a lot of people don't understand that, or if they do, they don't accept that. So by the time March rolls around, you're 3 months in, you're 12 weeks in, and you're not seeing that you've lost 20 pounds, and you're like, well, okay, I guess it ain't working. And then that's where people start to fall off, or they start seeing that it's a little bit harder than they thought it might be, and building up the routine, building up the consistency is a little bit harder. And so they start to just kind of trickle back. Coming in, going to the gym after work, nobody really honestly wants to do that. Nobody wants to get off work and go to the gym. So, you're like, oh, it's easier for me to just go home. My exit is right here. The gym's exit is down there. So let me just take this exit and go home. So it's just around that March time frame, and people just start to lose the momentum. They lose the focus. They lose the will and the drive, and then they just kind of fall back into the same routine that they were in before. And then they have this same thing that comes up again the following year of new year, new me. It's just it's a revolving door.
One of the things I'm glad that you mentioned there is you talked about how the weight didn't show up overnight, so it's not going to go away overnight. And I think in today's society of everything being expedited right now, fast, in a hurry, that is something I think a lot of people need to hear, because what I have found is that once you can make it beyond that March, that 2-3 year stretches, sometimes when you start to see some of the main results. I remember, when we first started training, if you recall the first few months, I was like, man, I'm not seeing it yet. And then we got maybe 4 or 5 months in, I saw some things change. I'm like, oh, when did this happen?
There it goes.
We looked up, we were like, when did this happen? And I think for a lot of people, they need to hear that. They need to know, hey, it won't happen necessarily overnight, right? Because you start 2026 or the new year, and you're just amped up on everything. You're like, yeah, this is going to be it. I'm going to do it. And it's like you said, it's not changing.
Yep.
So what do I do? So I'm glad you gave that perspective for folks. Okay, so I imagine it's different too if I've been semi-active versus I'm really picking things up.
Yeah.
When the last time I was working out was maybe years ago. Would your advice be different based upon those two factors? If it's someone that hasn't really exercised in 5 years versus someone who just wants to kind of take it up another notch?
It wouldn't be exactly the same, but it's not going to be completely different either. If you're someone who's active normally, like this is a part of your lifestyle, is doing this, then yeah, it is going to be my advice and recommendations are going to be a little bit different, because your body's already accustomed to things, your mindset is already there, and you just need the accountability part. You need a trainer, somebody who's there telling you, hey, I'm waiting on you to be here at 4:00, or
that was my case.
Yeah, and if that's you, then my advice is going to be, okay, I know that this is something that you do consistently. I know that you have the mentality to come in here and perform, and I'm looking through what you might be eating, or we're talking about what you might be eating, and you're doing pretty good there. So my approach is going to be my approach is going to be a little bit different with them than someone it's their first time either stepping into a gym, hiring a trainer, or it's the first time they've done this in a little while. It's going to look totally different. I know, currently I work with a few people that it is a part of the lifestyle. They just needed a change. They needed a shift. They needed somebody who would push them past what they push themselves in the gym. And so it's like, okay, you can come in here and I can do my assessment with you. I can see what you can work with. And now let's roll with what you've already been doing, but let's just make sure you're doing it the right way.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would be a little bit different depending on that circumstance.
Now, how about the variety of exercises you can take? Okay, so there are going to be people who are, going to be hitting the gym, and they, they're like, oh, I got to hit the gym. I just got to work out. But one of the things I've enjoyed is that, you can do a variety of different things, right? Like, I know basketball was key for me. Like, I can notice a difference when I wasn't playing ball, like doing it with working out, but also making sure I'm being, fit in other ways. You guys at HopeFit, you have your own way of kind of doing things a little unique with Bungee Fitness as well. I think this is a good time for you to be able to kind of talk about what that is, but also how people can maybe structure their workouts to where it's fun too, because I think that also kind of is what prevents people from moving forward, is because all of a sudden the joy, the excitement wears off. It's like, oh no, this actually hurts and it sucks.
Yeah.
But being able to balance it, how would you recommend balancing it? What are some things people can do to kind of keep it fun and fresh?
Yeah. I love that because there's so much truth to that. People do tend to stop doing it because they do lose the momentum. That it gets hard and all that other stuff, but they're not enjoying it anymore too. And anything that anybody is doing, if you're not enjoying it, you don't want to do it. So with us at Hope Fit VA, one of the things that we do, and my wife is the lead instructor, and she's incredible with it. She is, we have Bungee Fitness, which is a low impact, high resistance, high cardio form of exercise. So you could compare it to something like swimming or running, something like that. But what that does is it allows you to feel weightless at certain points of the workout, where they do a thing called flies. And if you've ever looked up Bungee Fitness on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, you'll see what that looks like. But it allows you, it's almost like a Zumba type thing, or like a dance type of class, where you're doing something that you don't really realize you're exercising. But by the time the class is over with, you're like, man, I just burned these calories. I'm winded. My legs hurt because I just did 1,000 squats, and all these other ways. But it takes all the impact off of those joints. So, so what we offer there, being the Bungee Fitness part, is definitely a good addition to some other things. We don't want that to be the only thing that people do. We want it to be an addition to. So we have the Bungee Fitness and the TRX and the weightlifting classes and our Body Blast HIIT style class. So we mix things up, and we offer all these different types of classes because we don't want people to get bored. We don't want them to lose the joy of working out. We want them to be like, man, I did Body Blast today. Tomorrow I'm going to do Bungee, and Wednesday I'm going to do TRX. Give them that variety, switch it up, confuse the muscles, confuse the mind, so that way you get in a full, well-rounded, full body workout routine. Now, you've literally created a workout routine that involves different forms of exercise.
Yeah. And I know that when you're talking about exercising, one thing I've just kind of accepted is it is something you invest in, right? Investing in your health is wealth. And that's just a line that I had to draw here the last year and a half. Just like, listen, if I want to see these things, I got to, invest the time and resources into it. But there are people who really struggle with time and resources, whether it's, financially or whatever it may be. And what would you advise the folks who maybe can't get out and they need to try to create some kind of schedule? Maybe they can only work out at home. How many days a week would you recommend? And is that something you can still do and relatively maintain some of your goals if you're not able to get out as much? What would you tell those folks?
Yeah, I mean, if you can't get out, you definitely do things at home. You'd be surprised at what you have at home that you can use as exercise equipment. Things as simple as a towel. You can do things with towel to create sliders with those, or furniture movers. If you have furniture movers, the sliders that go on the floor, you could do push-ups with those. You could do lunges with those, side lunges, reverse lunges, front lunges. You could do hamstring curls, glute bridges. I mean, I just named, and that's just using one thing, a furniture mover or towel, that you could do all of those things with. You could use your chair to do push-ups or dips, Bulgarian split squats, just using a chair. So there are a lot of things that you could do at home if you can't get out, if you don't have the time in your schedule to actually get to a fitness facility, whether it be a large fitness facility or a small one like ours. But those are things that you could do at home. And YouTube, YouTube is a great resource. I know, trainers across the world probably would be like, don't tell them to go to YouTube, but YouTube's a great resource, man. There's so many things on YouTube that you could do. But again, the biggest thing with the in-person versus the YouTube is just that accountability piece of having someone saying, hey, you were supposed to be here at this time, and following up with you, texting you, calling you, and checking on you. But yeah, if you don't have the resources, if you don't have the time, hop on YouTube, look around your house, chairs, towels, furniture movers, or t-shirts. If you don't have those, just grab a t-shirt and throw that on the floor. What else? I mean, you could go for a run around your block or a walk around your block. I mean, those types of things.
Yeah, there were so many things too, I think, during the height of the pandemic that people were were testing out too, because it was either that or stay in and get big. I mean, that really was that was it. I mean, you know, it was a big back season, you know, for the entirely of that time. I mean, it hit us all.
It's big back season
it
now.
Was. It really. And now we're trying to, you know, reverse a lot of that. But you were talking about resources. Another, you know, great resource that has been, at least for me, has been you guys too, right? With Hope Fit VA, and for people who are interested in Quentin and their gym and what they have there, hopefitva.com. I know it's you guys' website, again, with all the different things you have, if it's something that you're interested in doing there. But it's been certainly helpful for me, because it was one of my goals when we met in 2024, when we officially talked. It was 2024.
Yep.
I think November of 2024.
Yep.
And I said that this year was the year that I really wanted to kind of step some things up. And look at us now, a year later, and I didn't quit.
You did not
all
quit.
The way. Yeah,
you did not quit.
Listen, that was it. We were just trying to
did
make
not
it
quit,
through
and we saw some
2025.
progress.
Right, we saw progress. I just wanted to get through 2025. So a lot of these conversations that we're having now are conversations that we've had throughout the course of the year. So I definitely am appreciative. And so hopefully, if you've been listening to this either on our YouTube channel or on our app, 13 News Now Plus, or online on our website, you got some tips from this that you can utilize as you as we jog into 2020.
There we go.
More jogging. If you can't jog, walk. If you can jog, let's try to run. Let's go. That's the theme here, right? We're going to try to do it big in 2026. But Quentin, appreciate it. Any kind of last advice that we didn't hit on that you're like, hey man, if you're really serious about trying to make that step, people should know about?
No, just start. I think one of the biggest things that I did in the month of December with a lot of different people I met or talked to that were saying, oh, I'm going to get started in the new year, I would say, why? Just start. Just start now. There's no reason to keep pushing it off, keep waiting. Get started. Take it slow, take it easy. Don't overwhelm yourself. If you're looking for a trainer, make sure you get a trainer like us at Hope Fit VA, but a trainer who is understanding, a trainer who's going to walk with you every step of the way, not demean you, but encourage you, and make sure that you're doing things safely with your eating, with your working out, and just with your lifestyle in general. So just get started and take your time.
And in this particular case, getting started now is the new year.
It is.
So, but if you find yourself beyond it, like he said, just start. Get with somebody who can help. And for me, Quentin's been a big help on that. So I appreciate you, man, for that so much. All right, don't go anywhere just yet. I'm going to queue up something for those to see. The other thing with New Year's Eve, not just with our fitness, but also we know a lot about safety is a big conversation. A lot of people are going to be out and about today. And we had an interesting interview that our reporter Jemiah Beatty did, where she caught up with a local police chief about New Year's Eve, but particularly gun safety. So I'm going to cue that up so that you can listen to it and what we can get out of it. But we just know we want to make sure everybody is safe. But even from our law enforcement, the things that they're paying attention to here as we cross over into the new year.
The main message the community needs to know as we enter into New Year's Eve when it comes to firearm safety.
And what I would say is really it should be the rule all of the time is that we always, if you're handling a firearm, you always treat that firearm as if it's loaded, and you never point that firearm at anything that you don't intend on shooting. You have to, I want everybody to know that once that bullet leaves the barrel of that gun, you're responsible for it. You're responsible for that. As parents in our homes, if we have firearms in our homes, as responsible adults, we're responsible for those firearms, and we're responsible for making sure they're locked up and they're safe and they're not accessible for anybody else to get and that is not familiar with that firearm. Celebratory shooting of firearms, it happens every year, is that we think that We can bring grandpa's shotgun out and shoot it up in the air, and that's okay to do. But as the old saying goes, what goes up must come down. And no matter where we shoot that firearm, that bullet is going to travel until something stops it, whether it be property, a vehicle, or another human being. That bullet, once it leaves, there are no misses in firearms. Once that bullet leaves the barrel, it hits something before it stops. So, these guns are, on a good day, if they're used inappropriately, are dangerous, and New Year's Eve and the holidays is no exception. If you use those guns inappropriately, they are dangerous, and whatever happens with that firearm and with that bullet when it leaves the barrel, you are responsible for.
Have you seen any incidents where you've responded to where celebratory gunfire has been the cause of injury or death?
We've seen property damage more. I mean, knock on wood, is that the only reason, I guess, that there hasn't been more people hit is just luck. It's just plain luck. Now, we have had motorists whose windshields are damaged and shattered by bullets coming down that have been fired up in the air, and those bullets come down and strike something. We have just, like I say, knock on wood, I hope this year is that we have the same outcome where people aren't hit. But what goes up has got to come down. Where you shoot, when you come out in your yard and you start shooting your gun up in the air, those bullets or those pellets are going to come down somewhere. And whatever they strike, they're either going to damage or hurt or possibly kill. And it doesn't matter that it's New Year's Eve or any other date, you are responsible for that firearm, and you are responsible for the projectile that leaves that barrel. Wherever it goes, you're responsible for it.
Another nugget of this, you kind of said earlier about what safety steps people can take. That's, you said safe storage. But for parents watching at home, what kind of conversations do they need to have with their children and teens before New Year's celebrations kick off?
I would say, if first of all, if you're home and you're enjoying New Year's Eve at home with your family, then at 12 o'clock, firing firearms is not what you want to do to bring in the new year. That can bring in the new year so tragically, that, go out, honk your horn, do other things to make noise, but shooting firearms is, whenever somebody's handling a firearm, you can be in a dangerous situation if they're not handled appropriately. What I would tell parents, if you have firearms at home, then keep those firearms locked up, keep them in a safe, keep the ammunition away from the firearm so they're not together. In case if somebody gets a hold of your firearm, they don't have ammunition to load the gun with. Use a gun safety cable. It's a gun lock that runs through the barrel so the gun is inoperable as long as that lock is in place. Tell your children if they're at a celebration and people are starting to fire firearms to leave that celebration, because a firearm and a bullet knows no name, knows no gender, knows no race. It is just going to travel until something stops it. And if that something is property, if that something is another human being, then you are responsible for that bullet, and you are responsible for the damage that it causes when you fire that firearm.
So if someone hears a firearm go off, what should they do? I know it's simple, but we're hearing from the police chief this morning. What should they do if they hear that?
I think if you hear firearm, I mean, obviously 4th of July, New Year's Eve, we get hundreds of calls of shots fired due to celebratory gunfire. Most of it due to that, but call the police if there is gunfire, because it is not legal to discharge a firearm in most settings. It's 100% illegal to fire firearms, from occupied dwellings or around occupied dwellings. There are rules and regulations that exist for a reason, so you're not firing guns in neighborhoods and places where other people reside and where other people have property. So call Call the police. Let us come out and determine, what is going on and whether it's where the gunfire is coming from, so we can take the appropriate police action. But I will tell our citizens, please, please do not make part of your celebration firing firearms at midnight. That is it's super dangerous. What goes up will come down, and there are no misses in firearms. When you fire that weapon, it is going to travel. That bullet will travel until something stops it, whether that be a car, the ground, or another human being. It is going to travel until something stops it, and you are responsible for that bullet. So whatever occurs once that weapon is fired, you are going to be held responsible for it.
Is there any final reminders or remarks that you have about this story?
I would say to all our citizens in Suffolk is enjoy your New Year's Eve celebration. We're bringing in 2026, and we want to bring in 2026 on a very good, positive note. And we can't do that if we're all taking out our weapons and firing them at midnight. Something tragic will occur when a bunch of gunfire is going on. Something will occur, and we do not want to bring in 2026 in a tragic situation. We want everybody to have a good time. We want everybody to celebrate the new year, but we do not want them to celebrate the new year by firing their firearms up into the air. We do not want that to occur.
Well, thank you so much for making time to speak with me this morning. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you and all that you do.
Thank you.
Okay, there you have it there, speaking with the police chief in Suffolk about what they are hoping people do not do later on today when it comes to gun safety, not shooting guns in the air, which I know there are people who do that every year and not understanding the dangers that it can cause for others who are in their neighborhoods. You never know where that bullet can land, as you just listened to the chief kind of explain some of the dangers and issues that they could potentially face. You just don't want anybody to be harmed due to your celebration, which really is it's just dangerous. It's just downright dangerous. And that was Jeremiah Beatty, who got that interview and was talking with him there. I will tell you right now, I am looking at our board, waiting for the start of a major announcement that's supposed to be taking place in New York with the mayor-elect, Zohran Mamdani. He will be sworn in just moments after midnight today in a private ceremony in New York City, underground, by the way. Of course, tonight, prior to that, we're going to have the major New Year's Eve ball drop there in the middle of Times Square in New York City. So we are awaiting for that to take place as well. And so as we're waiting for that, I am also seeing, this is pretty neat here, if I can get it situated. I told you that throughout this, we'll be looking at various places across the country as they are preparing their own celebrations. And how about this? This is a live look at Pakistan right now there as they are prepping for their New Year's Eve celebration. I do believe probably here within the next 5 minutes, if I can confirm real quick what time. Yes. So they're within 5 minutes from reaching their own 2026 there. So I don't know what we're going to see if we hold on to this shot for a little bit. But that is something that is currently in the wings. We're waiting for that here within a few minutes to start off. So that is a shot that I'll keep up here just for a little bit of time while we are waiting for the countdown at this time. But how great was it to have Quentin in talking to us about those New Year's resolutions for people? I know it is difficult at times. It can seem a little daunting when you're trying to when you're trying to be healthy into the new year. but there are tips and ways for you to do it, and I hope that is what people walked away from that interview receiving. Another big thing that I want to remind folks of is that there are going to be people who are going to go out on the town. We know that already as we take a live look here over at Nauticus in New York. There are going to be people who are going to go out on the town and have a good time. But if you plan on drinking, or any kind of legal drug as well, you want to make sure that you're not driving home, that you have a plan, that your plan is that somebody else can drive or you have a ride share. And if you are going to be using a ride share, which I know I would recommend, one of the options that you have is to use 757 Sober Ride. And here's some information for you as I'll take down this banner that's blocking a little bit of it. But if you are in the, if you're going to be out in the town and you're going to be drinking, there is the opportunity for you to get up to $15 off of your Lyft ride for New Year's Eve in the Hampton Road, South Side, and Peninsula areas. Okay? So if that is something you want to do, that code will be available starting at 5 o'clock today, and you can use it from 5 until 4 a.m. tomorrow on January 1st. When I say code, I mean the promo code that will be available. You can find it on www.drivesafehr.org /757 Sober Ride. That is where you can find the information once it is available at 5 p.m. and that will be available all the way until 4 a.m. Okay, we just want to make sure people are safe. Now, at this time, we're going to fly up to New York City, where we are getting some form of announcement by the soon-to-be mayor of New York City, and that would be Zohran Mamdani. Let's go ahead and listen to what he has to say.
Be it parents, children, educators alike, the future is not something that they often look towards with hope and optimism. When many parents think of the future, they think of literacy rates that, while improving, still show that nearly 45% of children in grades 3 through 8 are not reading proficiently. They think, too, of a public school system that ranks among the most segregated in our nation, where children from different backgrounds do not learn alongside one another, and too many children don't receive the same opportunities. For over 900,000 children learning in our public schools, when they think of the future, they think of classrooms so crowded that they cannot get the attention of their teacher and facilities that have long needed improvement. And for educators, when they think of the future, they think of how many of their students don't have a home to return to at the end of the day or a bed to lay their head in. How hard it is to afford a dignified life in this city on a teacher's salary, and how many of their colleagues have had to move on to another job. The future need not be something that we dread. It can be something we rewrite together so that the children of our city, the future of our city, receive opportunities far greater than those who came before them. I am proud today to appoint Kamar Samuels as New York's next schools chancellor, because this moment demands a new generation of leadership that both understands our school system and has a transformative vision on how to remake it. Kamar is that leader. He has deep experience serving at every level of our public school system across our city. He began as a teacher in the classroom in the Bronx before becoming a principal, and has since served as a deputy superintendent of School District 23 in Brooklyn and superintendent of both District 3 in Manhattan and District 13 in Brooklyn. More impressive, however, than his resume are the results he has achieved in these roles, delivering millions of dollars to integrate city schools and transitioning to new curricula that increased literacy rates by 5% in a single year. I chose Kamar for this impactful role, one which shapes the lives of nearly 1 million children each year, oversees more students than any other chancellor in the nation, and manages over 135,000 employees because of his expansive vision of possibility for the future, and because he will lead with two qualities too rare in public service: transparency and accountability. They are the same qualities I seek to lead with from City Hall. With the appointment of Kamar, I want to acknowledge I have been skeptical of mayoral control in the past, even at times going as far as wanting to end the system entirely. This came from a deep frustration with the outcomes we see, and a firm belief that our parents, our teachers, and most of all, our students deserve better, that excellence in government means an excellent public school system. As with every policy position I take, my focus is on outcomes. So though I have held concerns about mayoral control, I also acknowledge that New Yorkers need to know where the buck stops, with me. They need to know to whom they should address their concerns and their fears. They need to have a firm voice in City Hall that they can count on to not only listen, but to also act accordingly. My approach to mayoral control will ensure that community involvement is not ceremonial or procedural, but tangible and actionable. I will work alongside Kamar to engage parents, teachers, and students in decision-making. We will pursue an aggressive democratization agenda to make sure the entire system has a voice. For one, our administration will improve the parent coordinator role to be a meaningful organizer of parents, rather than an administrative coordinator reporting to a principal. We want to restructure how meetings are run so that working parents can actually attend them. We cannot expect parents working 40, 50, 60, 70-hour weeks to then attend CEC meetings in person or even be plugged into when they are actually happening. We need to improve the awareness, the accessibility, and the scale of responsibility of SLT and CEC meetings. These are plans Kamar and I have spoken about, and we are very excited about what an improved approach to mayoral control can deliver for our public schools. The goal here remains the same. It remains improving teacher recruitment and retention, expanding support for students with special needs, improving literacy rates, and delivering the best public education we can in the wealthiest city, in the wealthiest country in the history of the world. We hold these ambitious goals together to provide more resources and services to the more than 154,000 homeless students in our city, to hire thousands more teachers, and to make our school system as great as the children it is fortunate to educate. I am also proud today to make several other high-ranking personnel announcements. Julia Curson will serve as City Hall's Deputy Mayor for Operations, an office, we can also, an office where she has served before, overseeing many of the systems that New Yorkers rely on each day. Julia joins the administration from Governor Hochul's team, where she currently holds the role of Deputy Director of Operations for Infrastructure. Her work has been felt across our state and throughout our city in ways big and small, including the Kips Bay Science Park and Research Center, which will generate an incredible $25 billion and 15,000 jobs and economic impact for New Yorkers. She also has managed the delivery of the largest infrastructure project in the country, the Hudson Tunnel Project, which is creating 95,000 jobs and generating close to $20 billion in economic activity. Her purview will be vast, from our parks to our sanitation infrastructure to ensuring that phones are silenced, to our environmental protection efforts, to emergency management and the fire department. Julia will lead a complex network of city services attended to by hundreds of thousands of the most capable people in city government. As part of her role, she will oversee the Mayor's Office of Climate and Environmental Justice, where she will work alongside both myself and incoming Chief Climate Officer Louise Young to tackle the climate crisis. Louise has served in that same role for Controller Brad Lander as Director of Resiliency for the Department of Transportation and as the Policy Director during my general election campaign. Her dedication can be seen in her thoroughness. I am also honored to announce Ahmed Tigani as the Commissioner of the Department of Buildings, where he will protect New Yorkers who work, live, and congregate across our city. He has extensive experience in the DOB, including a past role as Chief of Staff, and currently serves as Acting Commissioner of the Department of Housing, Preservation and Development. Okay, we have made 4 announcements, but what is one more? Last but most certainly not least, I am delighted to share that Emmy Liss will be joining our administration as Executive Director for the Office of Childcare, where she will lead our efforts to build the high-quality early childhood education system that New Yorkers deserve. Her expertise in this field is indisputable, and her past work as COO for New York City's early childhood education program makes her the ideal candidate as we make our city one that every family can afford. There are 5 New Yorkers standing alongside me with very different responsibilities and unique portfolios, but they share 2 things in common: a commitment to delivering a better future for those who call the city home, and to leading from City Hall with an unwavering commitment to excellence. I am grateful to them for serving this city that they each love so deeply, and I am eager for New Yorkers to experience the positive impact of their remarkable leadership. Thank you. It is now my sincere privilege to introduce your next school's chancellor, Kamar Samuels.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor-elect. It's an honor to be here and stand before you as the next New York City Schools Chancellor. The most critical decision in a classroom is not simply the curriculum the teacher sets, but when an adult decides a child is worth fighting for. I started my career in an elementary school as an elementary school teacher in the Bronx, standing in front of students who deserved someone who believed in them and making a commitment to show up every single day for them. Because real learning doesn't happen in the abstract. It happens when a child is struggling to read, when a family is facing housing insecurity, when a teacher is stretched thin, but still giving everything they have. I know that room. I've lived it. For over 2 decades in the New York City public school system, I've had the privilege of serving at every level, from teacher to principal to superintendent, across the Bronx, Brooklyn, and Manhattan. Yes, I love the city. I have had every role, and in every role, my focus has been the same: delivering results, rooted in care, clarity, and high expectations for our students. As a superintendent, I worked to strengthen literacy by aligning instruction to the science of reading. I helped expand access to high-quality programs, including launching 17 international baccalaureate pathways. And I worked with communities to secure more than $10 million to advance school integration, because equity is not an abstract idea, it's a set of choices we make together in policy and practice. But what matters is not just what we do, it's how we do it. By listening to educators, by respecting families, by seeing students not just as data points, but as whole people with enormous potential. I am deeply honored to serve as the next Chancellor of the New York City Public Schools, together with the Mayor-elect, my man, Mr. Mamdani. We will fully fund public schools. We will invest in recruiting and retaining educators, especially in special education, bilingual education, math, and science. So every child has a teacher qualified and supported. And we will confront one of the deepest crises facing our students: homelessness. With more than 150,000 students experiencing homelessness, we will expand Every Child and Every Family is Known, because children cannot focus on learning if their basic needs aren't being met. A great city is measured not by how well it takes care of its children. And a great school system starts with leadership that knows the work from inside out. As a parent of 2 public school children myself, I believe deeply in what our kids can achieve. And together, we will make sure that every classroom in New York City is a place where learning is happening and is joyful, and teachers are supported, and students can imagine a future that is as big as this city itself. Together, we will write the next chapter of the New York City public school education, and one where our children receive every ounce of attention that they deserve. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now I would like to introduce our Commissioner of the DOB, Ahmed Tigani.
Thank you and good afternoon. I am humbled and I am honored for this opportunity to lead one of the most complex and influential building regulatory agencies in the country as the incoming Commissioner of DOB. Every year, DOB oversees tens of thousands of construction sites, processes thousands of permits each week, and manages a wide range of responsibilities for New York City's critical construction sector. But these are not just stats on a page. These are permits that represent a new home, each represents a new business, a school seat, or access to health care. Our work has real consequences, and it's felt every day across the city by New Yorkers. As a lifelong New Yorker, born and raised in Brooklyn and proud to have called many boroughs home, public service to the city isn't just a career in my family, it's a calling. Shaped by a belief in giving back to a city that supported us so many times when we needed it the most. The commitment was instilled in me by my mother, a dedicated social worker. It's shared by my sister, who fights daily for equity and inclusivity. And it's reinforced by my wife, Jen, and my son, Jonah, who remind me why the city we build must be safer, more accessible, and fairer for the next generation. So, thank you so much, Mayor-elect, for this opportunity to continue to serve. Thank you to my colleagues at HPD for 5 years of wins for New Yorkers, to Commissioner Otto for his steady leadership over these past years, and to the incredible team at DOB who I look forward to rejoining soon. The mayor-elect's charge was clear: protect lives, enable growth, and build a greener city, urgently, with high standards, and with accountability at every step, so every New Yorker can trust the results. With those as our North Stars, I think I join my colleagues up here when I say we look forward to getting to work.
Now our incoming Chief Climate Officer, Louise Young.
Thank you to Mayor-elect Mamdani for this great honor. It is a privilege to serve as New York City's Chief Climate Officer. I'm a lifelong public servant, and for the last decade, I have been so honored to work with New Yorkers across all 5 boroughs to advance climate justice. The very first job I was hired to do was on coastal protection for Lower Manhattan after Hurricane Sandy. I've also worked on greening our housing and building community solar so that anyone, including renters, can access clean energy. In a city where we overcome any challenge with creativity and an ethos to showing up for our neighbors, tackling the existential threat of climate change offers us the chance to dramatically reimagine what's possible and what our future can look like. The opportunity to transform our neighborhoods to be more resilient, to put environmental justice communities front and center in building our climate solutions, the opportunity to invest in and maintain the infrastructure that keeps us safe as an act of love for future generations to come. I see this work not only about tending to our environment, but also as tending to every New Yorker. My vision of our climate future includes and especially centers the most forgotten in our city, who are often the first to feel the brunt of climate disasters. The climate crisis is inextricably linked to our affordability crisis. When people cannot afford to run their air conditioners during sweltering heat waves because of skyrocketing energy costs, when outdoor workers do not have labor protections as the skies turn orange and smoggy from wildfires, and when people cannot afford to repair their homes after flood damages, it is clear that lasting solutions to climate change must prioritize working people. I'm so excited and humbled to join Mayor-elect Mamdani and this amazing team and continue this work together. Thank you so much.
And now our incoming Executive Director of the Office of Child Care, Emmy Liss.
Good afternoon. I'm so grateful to Mayor-elect Mamdani for entrusting me to lead on universal child care, one of the most important pillars of our affordability agenda. When families have access to safe, reliable, high-quality child care, children learn and grow, parents are able to work and build economic stability, businesses and our economy thrive. But too often today, that is not the case. Parents are going into debt, leaving the workforce, or leaving the city entirely because they cannot afford child care. Families with children under 6 are more than twice as likely to leave New York City. Meanwhile, child care workers who do essential work every day earn less than 96% of all professionals in New York City. A different future is possible, and it is what we are building toward. A city where every child under 5 has access to free, high-quality childcare in a range of culturally responsive settings with appropriately compensated caregivers. As someone raising young children in Brooklyn, I know how much universal childcare would mean to New Yorkers. I would not be standing here today without the caregivers and educators in my children's lives. When I worked on the expansion of universal 3K and pre-K, I saw firsthand what it means when city government comes together to deliver for families. With the vision of universal childcare, we have a once-in-a-generation opportunity to come together again to double down on the city's investments and to design and implement a program that truly meets the needs of families and sustains our childcare providers and educators. Thank you for this opportunity.
Would you want to come up? Best t-shirt. I just want everyone to see this incredible t-shirt that our young man is wearing. It says wanted free childcare. Thank you so much, Emmy. Thank you so much to the family. And now, if you could please join me in welcoming our incoming Deputy Mayor of Operations, Julia Kirsten.
Thank you so much, Mayor-elect. I'm incredibly honored to be asked to serve in this administration. Your election really resonated with me, as it did with so many New Yorkers, in a way I didn't expect. Having spent the last year managing senseless uncertainty from Washington, D.C., your election reminded me, maybe even reminded the world, that government is supposed to work for the people. New York City hired you to bring them a New York that works for them, a New York that is for everyone and anyone. Now it's our job to deliver on that promise. I have spent the last 20 years delivering priority programs big and small, programs that were often met with skepticism. But I've also learned that with political will, vision, and creativity, nothing is impossible. The Deputy Mayor for Operations role is a big one, a portfolio of agencies that provide services that touch almost every aspect of daily life, services that, when done well, are often invisible. There should be a park nearby, open, safe, and clean, for when your kids have too much energy and you just have to get them out of the house. You should be able to walk, bike, drive, or take transit safely. When it rains or snows, the streets and sidewalks should be clear. Clean, safe drinking water should run from every faucet. And our public spaces should be places for community, where we can get to know our neighbors or take in the sounds of the city. It takes hundreds of thousands of people and dozens of agencies to deliver these services seamlessly. As my uncle used to say when we drove past a new stoplight in his town, do you know how many meetings it took to put up that stoplight? Yes, it takes a lot of meetings, thinking, and planning to get things done right. But we have to move with a sense of urgency. New Yorkers cannot afford to wait for the services they rely on. I do want to take a quick second to thank some folks. I've had the pleasure of being mentored by some incredibly impressive women: Catherine Garcia, Jackie Bray, Alicia Glenn, Mira Joshi, Marie-Therese Dominguez, and Joanne Papageorgis. I have so enjoyed learning from all of them. Also, my mother and father, who raised me with a commitment to public service and made me believe I could do anything. My children, whom I love very much, and who love me even when I forget to send them to school with a crazy hat on Crazy Hat Day, and my husband, who makes me laugh every day. Thank you all. Now let's get to work.
On-topic questions, please, for the mayor-elect and appointees. That was Ricky Morgan.
Hi, Mayor-elect.
Hi, Morgan.
One more day to say that.
Yeah.
10 more hours.
I said wait and see.
Right.
Here we are. Here we are. Yes.
Just hoping, just two things. One, I was hoping if you could give an update on the Universal Child Care Program. Have you had more conversations with the governor about this? Anything you can update us on with that aspect? And then secondly, was just wondering about the Gifted and Talented Program. I know you said that you wanted to end that for kindergartners. Are you still hoping to do so, and what your take is on it as well? Thank you.
So I'll start with the second question first. The enrollment program for the Gifted and Talented program for kindergarten is currently open. And we have both made very clear that we do not think that children as young as kindergartners should be subject to this kind of testing. And we also will not take action that will destabilize the lives of parents across this city. So for the program that is currently active, it will continue for the case that has been laid out for this next calendar year. And then in the years after that, we will fulfill the commitment that we've made specific to kindergartners. And then to your first question, universal child care continues to be a priority for our administration. And that is in part what has made me so excited to have Emmy in someone who has been helping prepare us for this work already and now will take a lead role in this. And it has been a part of conversations that we've had both internally as well as with the governor's team. And as the governor has said herself, 2026 is the year for childcare. And we truly believe that the absence of this, it is something that poses a great risk to our city and our state in terms of the ability for working class, middle class families to afford to stay here. So we will continue to not only have those conversations, but start to share the details of what the plan looks like. How's it going?
To clarify your position now, are you asking the legislature to continue to give you mayoral control? And if that is the case, because I think I'm understanding you correctly, how did you reach the decision to pivot from where you were before? Get rid of mayoral control, bring some change, to keep mayoral control, bring some change. Can you step me through your logic behind the flip here?
The position I've held has always been motivated by a desire to deliver the best quality public education for New Yorkers across this city, and a concern in mayoral control, and especially the manner in which it has been used by the current administration to push parents, students, and teachers alike out of any process, whether it be of discussion or deliberation. And I will be asking the legislature for a continuation of mayoral control, and I will also be committed with my incoming schools chancellor to ensure that the mayoral control we preside over is not the same one that New Yorkers see today. It will be one that includes more involvement, more responsibility, more accessibility of the current processes that parents are told to engage in, but so often either do not know about, do not know how to be a part of, or do not see the need to do so, given how limited the scope is of those very kinds of bodies.
Yeah, Jennifer.
Thank you.
I'm Mayor Lynch.
Hey, how's it going? Yes.
We talked to parent advocates today who tell us they didn't feel like they were included in this election process for a new chancellor, and they are the ones that feel the children of the city. Do you have a response to that? Did you before you will talk with parent advocates and groups about your selection?
You know, I have appreciated the conversations that we've had with New Yorkers for whom education is their primary concern, whether we are speaking of parent advocates or teachers or potential chancellors. And even within our own committee, within our transition, the reflections, the suggestions, they were critical in informing not only the rigorous process that we conducted in the selection of a new schools chancellor, but also the questions that we were asking, the places that we were pushing, because we both know that the responsibility is an immense one for New York City, it is also an immense opportunity to deliver in a manner that we have not yet seen.
Yeah, and do we know if the chancellor is starting tomorrow, or when does he start?
We do know. The chancellor is going to be starting tomorrow, and I am also grateful that the current chancellor has agreed to stay on for an additional month to help with that transition so that no parent has to worry about the stability of the education system in our city.
What was the reason? I'm sorry, we'll go Vernon first, and then Esther.
Mhm.
Go ahead. What was the reasoning behind not keeping Aviles Ramos and having a change mid-year? And I also have a follow-up for the chancellor. Do you want me to say it now or wait?
Why not say it now? Everybody's doing the two questions at once today.
On the class size mandates, you've been focused on integration. What can we look forward to over the next year when more schools close? And also, you know, the city's already far behind its deadline. Will you ask the legislature for some maybe clarity or changing the legislation, or the law rather, to give you guys more time to implement the smart mandates?
I'm starting to regret having taken the second question as well. I'll go. Come on. We'll start with the second one first. We, in the campaign, made it very clear that we take incredibly seriously the need to hire thousands more teachers. And we put forward a proposal of community to classroom, of how we would create new pathways for graduating high school seniors as well as.
All right, so you were listening there to Mayor-elect, very soon to be the mayor of New York City. Hold on one second. I always forget to change this audio. Very soon, he will be the mayor of New York City there, Zohran Mamdani, within the next several hours. Now, within 12 hours, obviously, right after midnight, he is expected to be sworn in a private ceremony with New York Attorney General Letitia James there in the city, taking over for Eric Adams. And so they're talking about teachers. This was an announcement about several people who will be overseeing education in the city of New York. And just as we were coming out asking and answering the questions, I should say, about the need for teachers and support for them and how they are going to plan it. I'm coming out of that only right now because we do have meteorologist Taylor Stephenson, who is in the room with us at the moment. Hey, so we can talk about, again, this forecast that we're going to see here in Hampton Roads, and maybe we can even dabble into New York and some of the other places along the East Coast too. But obviously a lot of people are going to be out today, celebrating tonight. If they don't already have their outfits planned, you can help. What? You always have a good fit on. What you talking about? You ain't got one planned?
I don't know. I don't have a fit at all in my, like, I have a fit in mind. I'm like, I gotta ask what the attire is, because maybe I'm not gonna be, you know how sometimes my outfit is very like formal, so I don't know if this is gonna be more of like a
if where you're going, you don't know if where you're going is more so
laid back, formal, a mix, or like in between. That will determine what I wear, if that makes sense.
No, it absolutely makes sense. Let me see something real quick. You got the graphics up. What are they on? Which Max are they on?
We're on Max 1.
This is Inside Baseball, y'all. I'm just trying to get some graphics set up. No, I understand that because you want to make sure that you match the vibe, obviously, for whatever you're going to do. But, I mean, color scheme won't change, though, right? You got a particular color scheme you would go for New Year's
I don't know because this particular party is Caribbean, so I don't know if they want us to be in like, I don't know if they want us to have like a Jamaican flag colors or a certain like Caribbean flag colors, or if it's, you know, gonna be the traditional New Year's Eve black, silver, gold feel. So I will literally make sure to you know, figure out what the attire is so I can figure out what I'm gonna wear, because it should be a fun party. But you know, sometimes when you walk into a room and you're like I'd rather be overdressed than underdressed, but either situation you're like, I don't like this feeling. So hopefully I can figure out what to wear.
That's actually an interesting argument. So you would rather be overdressed than underdressed? Because I do feel like there is I agree that you don't want to be underdressed. And I think traditionally, for me, I am most comfortable, unfortunately, because of our jobs, wearing a suit.
Yeah, me too. Wearing a dress.
And when I don't have
Yeah.
to wear a suit, it's like I stress out the most. It's like, oh my goodness, is this the outfit that I have anxiety about getting dressed outside of going to work. No anxiety getting dressed for work. Tell me to go out somewhere else. I'm going to be working on my outfit for like days because I'm like, whatever. But I do think there's a level where you're too dressed. I do think
there is.
a level.
But I'd rather look the best in the room than the worst in the room. Okay, and I feel like here's a scenario: you walk into a party, a New Year's Eve party, and everybody has bow ties and suits and nice dresses, and you're in there in jeans, like ripped jeans and sneakers. You will be the target of everybody. But if you walk into a New Year's Eve party and it's jeans and maybe a nicer top, and you're in a full suit, people might look at you, but they might be like, oh, he's dressed nice. And then they will move on. I feel like the opposite is like, where did they think they were going? So I'd rather be overdressed than underdressed. But I'm just going to ask. And so I can avoid both scenarios and be properly dressed.
I can see that. I mean, I think there is I can see that. I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right there. There is a point where if you're too underdressed, everybody will be like, who let this person in?
Yeah.
And there are some places that won't even let you in.
Right.
Right, if that happens. I want to see if let's look at some of these spots around the city here that we can look at, because just temperature-wise, what's it looking like out there right now as we take a look, I do believe, from the Jordan Bridge. The shot looks beautiful least, and it looks like there's some sunlight out there, but even earlier in the week, the sun was out. I think you were the one who said this. The sun was out, but it didn't seem like it was working.
It wasn't working.
Out there.
It's the same thing today, at least maybe a little bit better. I'm not going to, hate on the sun. I love the sun. I might like the moon better, but I like the sun too. But as you can see, lots of blue skies going on right now. But again, still one of those cold days where the sun's not really breaking through. Here's a live look from our Nauticus camera overlooking the Elizabeth River. You can even see a sailboat out there right now in the horizon.
It's a good catch. I didn't even see that at first.
Yeah, the little sailboat that's going around. So it is a little bit windy. So, I mean, and honestly, probably a nice day to be out there. You're not worried about really any crazy conditions, whether it comes to the choppiness of the waters. Those are fairly calm. The winds, while elevated, aren't overly gusty. No rain in sight and barely any clouds out there at the moment. So right now I am tracking temperatures in the 40s for most of us, like places like Virginia Beach sitting right now at 42 degrees. In Hampton, we're at 42 degrees, 41 now in Newport News, 36 though in Wallops Island. For the northeastern North Carolina area, we're in the middle 40s and lower 40s. Everyone is seeing sunshine, so that's not hard to come by. What's hard to come by is the warmth, and that will be the theme as we get into the first day of the new year. We get into Friday, and even for the first weekend of 2026, temperatures will still be remaining below normal. Here's a look at satellite and radar, and this is going to be something that for those who may be listening here and thinking about, hey, I'm about to be on my way to Richmond, or hey, I'm about to be on my way to Raleigh or the Outer Banks to celebrate the ring in the new year, you may be wondering, okay, what do the travel conditions look like? And you can see it is really calm all across the East Coast, down through the Deep South, the Mid-South, and the Midwest. Just a few pockets of some snow flurries as you head northeast, but relatively calm after there were areas of blizzard-like conditions in the Midwest, plus a few tornadoes that touched down in Illinois, behind and along that cold front that rolled through on Monday and brought us a chill yesterday. That chill continues for us today. So right now, here's a zoomed-in look at what's happening here in Hampton Roads in northeastern North Carolina. A very quiet scene ongoing for us here in the area. Nothing that I'm tracking in terms of any wet weather. We may have a few clouds roll in later on tonight. Temperatures through the day today will climb to the middle 40s at best. That's about as high as we'll go for your New Year's Eve afternoon. For people heading out tonight, a lot of parties start around 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock. If you're going to be heading out tonight, it will be a bit breezy at times, winds up to about 15 miles per hour, but temperatures will start to really subside to the middle to upper 30s. Still clear skies, so again, even tonight, fireworks shows, if you're going to go see those shows, they should be fine. No concerns about any wet weather. but it will be a chilly night. So on days like this, I really like to focus on wind chill. Right? Because the wind chill is what it actually feels like to your skin. And so feels like temperatures from now through about 3 o'clock will be in the middle to upper 30s. We get into your Wednesday afternoon and evening, and those wind chills start to take a little bit of a dip. By 8 o'clock, wind chills will be right around freezing or below. So all that being said is you need to bundle up as you're heading out and about for any New Year's Eve parties, especially if they're outdoors. Yesterday, when I was on Live Impact News with Connor Reel, we talked about, a little bit of some hacks on how to stay cool tonight. How to avoid the coolness and cold temperatures tonight when you're out and about. We talked about using those hand warmers, even putting them in your shoe if your feet start to get cold. Make sure you have the gloves, the hats, the scarves, you need it. So as you're ringing in the new year, for 11 p.m. through about midnight, temperatures will be in the upper 30s, so just above freezing here around the coast. Inland, we may still be hovering in the 30s as well. So a cold night all across the 757 and the 252. Lots of coldness to go around here through the mid-Atlantic. Now let's talk about tomorrow, the first day of the new year. And for 2026, we're starting off yet again on a cold note. Temperatures will be in the middle 40s, sunny and cool here under mostly sunny skies. So an optically beautiful day, but we're still going to be running just about 5 to 10 degrees below normal for this time of year for the first day of the year. On Friday, we warm up just a little bit. The sunshine continues, and I think, Eugene, the sunshine will actually kind of work that day. Temperatures will be in the lower 50s on Friday. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Honestly, just a seasonably cool day. Nothing too out of the normal, but we get our next cold front to come through, and that's going to cool us down for the weekend. So here's a look at what to expect heading into the weekend. Temperatures in the middle 40s for Saturday and Sunday. We may squeeze out an isolated shower on Saturday, though those chances will remain low. It will be cloudier for the weekend and then clear out by Monday. Still isolated showers possible Monday and Tuesday, but temperatures on Monday still remaining below normal. It may not even be until Tuesday of next week where we get to be in the middle 50s, right near normal for this time of year. So we're going to spend a few days below normal for the start of the new year.
Below normal. Ugh, I don't know
I
how I feel about it, but it's all good. As we, Taylor, I want to show you this. As we take a look here at the Calm right now in Hampton, you can see what it looks like at the moment, and I'm sure people across Hampton Roads, we know for a fact in Virginia Beach with last night on the town, there's a huge celebration there that Marta Berglund's going to be at tonight. I assume this area here, this is actually Newport News.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said Hampton. This is Newport News down there at City Center. We imagine we might see a little bit more activity there later on, but again, we're still now under 10 hours from midnight, but you know where they are already getting things going right now, Taylor?
It looks like we're going to the Middle East.
We're going to Abu Dhabi right now. Actually, we're going to Dubai at the moment. So let's see if we can go to Dubai, where we are seeing celebrations underway as they are getting ready for a transition into 2026. Let's make sure what time it is right now. It is 11:39 p.m. there in Dubai as you are looking at someone on a tightrope. Is that?
Oh my gosh, it looks like it.
Okay, that is terrifying to me. But let's see if there's any audio.
mean, the architecture that goes with that. Beautiful. Yeah, sure. She still is. I feel like there's a lot going on. And then I like it though. Not a bad thing. I don't see anybody sitting around. So I guess I feel like I'd be too far away to see all of what's going on. I think the broadcast probably does a better job of because there are a lot of moving parts to this ceremony. But I don't know where people are sitting. Okay, I see some people in the background now. Maybe but yeah, I think I'd rather see this from the Oh, do you see the people in the back now? They're behind those gates. They just showed them. Yeah, for sure. Like the hotels around. Yeah, that would be great. to watch other countries celebrate the same exact holiday, right?
Yes.
And the way they do it. So for me, it would definitely be going to Brazil. Now, of course, I would have to figure out how to learn a little bit of Portuguese before I get over there. But I think that would be so fascinating to see that. And of course, you know, we have, and I want to say it's the statue of Christ the Redeemer there in Brazil and Rio. So I would love to go ahead and go over there to celebrate New Year. I guess if I had to choose an American city, it would not be New York. I think it's too crowded. I would not be there for the morning. I would be there like, I don't know, 6 p.m. in the evening, and I would be with the thing, right? Because, you know, you can't really see that far. I'm trying to think of an American city that's sweet. Maybe, honestly, maybe Las Vegas. I feel like maybe Vegas. I feel like Vegas would probably do it. Warmer, they're already into the Christmas jam, you know, yeah. Hey, ring the bell. Can you ring the bell? Yeah, I don't think you can touch it. I don't think you can touch it. I looked it up and I was like, maybe that's what it should be. And you would think it would be because this is America's year, right? So I know they're doing stuff in July, but you would have thought they would have, you know, at least signified, hey, this is the year, you know. Right. I know, right? Are those water jets? Tifa, that's pretty. That's pretty. Why? It's too tall. Did you go on the Eiffel Tower when you were in Paris? Which was crazy. We didn't even realize it until like the week before. Yeah. I did? Yeah. Oh yeah, I like a little grill. I like a little grill. I went to the top of the Eiffel Tower. I will say it was high up. My ears popped in the elevator because it was so high up. But it was the most beautiful view of Paris in the city. It was gorgeous. Okay, that's no.
And there you go.
That's a little too extreme.
That is pretty astounding. And I can see people who
Right. Is about a little bit more than half a mile tall. Yeah, I looked it up. It's about 27 miles long. Why not? If I'm traveling halfway across the world to be in Dubai, I'm that's not enough. It probably takes a minute. There's probably, I wouldn't be surprised if there were multiple